When you strength train, say using moderate weights, weights that are challenging to lift, you can burn fat for up to 12 to 24 hours after that session. How good's that? So you're burning fat even after you've exercised. Welcome to the D8 Training Podcast. It's Ann-Marie Antic here, your host. And today I'll be sharing 10 habits that help me stay healthy. So it'll be all me on this episode. This is in response to answering questions I get asked often. How do I stay lean? How do I maintain a healthy lifestyle? So before I get stuck into these habits, one thing I always say is being fit and healthy comes down to 3 key principles. The first one is setting up healthy habits to be part of your daily life and routine. It's not about doing one big action, such as I went and did one workout. It's a consistent, disciplined actions where you get the results. Think about brushing your teeth or taking a shower. You can't do this once and expect to be clean for the rest of your life. It's that ongoing habit. Secondly, I remove where possible temptations from my life. I actually got this from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, where he talks about in order to resist temptation, just limit your exposure to them, remove them out of your life if possible. So for example, I have an app that blocks social media apps at certain times in the day so that I'm not there just scrolling. I don't keep soft drinks, chips, biscuits, etc. in our home because if I did, I know I'll be tempted. Actually now recently during Easter, we had chocolate bunnies in the house and I ate them. If they weren't there, I would not have eaten them. Number 2, removing those temptations where possible. And thirdly, self-belief. You need to believe you are healthy. You need to believe you are lean. And start visualizing yourself like this because the mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is not real. So if you think about yourself as someone that can't do gym or does not do gym, even if you go and you start trying, you're almost setting yourself up for failure because your mind is telling you, you can't do this, I am not a gym goer, because it's incongruent with who you are. So do you know someone who ever lost weight, say for an occasion like a wedding or a holiday, and then once it was over, they ended up putting all that weight back on, potentially some more. And that all comes down to self-belief. Maintaining the weight loss is you need to believe that you are that leaner version of yourself. And the mind plays a pivotal role in this. So they're my 3 principles. Set up healthy habits, remove temptations where possible, and believe that you are for a healthy life. To me, healthy means movement, physically moving my body, being active and strong, nutrition, fueling my body so I have energy to perform at my best. So this is food and drinks. And mindset, being positive and resilient. These habits, they can help you lose weight, live longer and have more energy. And for me, this is important, which is why I've implemented these habits because I want to be able to do all that, probably especially for my kids, as you would have heard me talk about in other episodes. I do athletics now and so do my kids. And I love that I'm working to beat my personal best. And then it motivates them to try and beat their personal best. Actually, on a side note, since I started doing athletics, I never realized how hard it can be. For example, running 400 meters or 800 meters, I am buggered by the end of it. And I think all the times I used to tell my kids during athletics when they were doing those events, run faster when they probably were. And also with athletics, joining the Masters in South Australia, there are men and women in their 70s, 80s, 90s that are still competing. And I personally find that so inspirational. I got a bit sidetracked. As I share these habits, I also want to challenge you today to pick 1 or 2 habits that you can implement into your life and think how you can add or stack them to your current routine of habits. From experience and working with many people, doing more than 1 or 2 habits and trying to implement them can be overwhelming, and then most likely will cause the person to give up. So start with 1 or 2, get consistent with them, get them to be a part of your life, and then look at adding more. And don't be surprised when you start 1 or 2, some of the other ones can just flow in automatically. Also, you may mess up some of the habits, and that's okay. There's still times I don't do them properly or I forget something. The most important bit is just to keep going. Life happens, things happen. It doesn't matter what it is. It's about getting back up. And then secondly, it's how can you adapt them to suit you? I know when I'll get to my sleep, and I share that habit, but I used to try to get up a lot earlier than I do now, and it wasn't working and I was failing. So I just readjusted my sleeping time and I went to bed a bit later because it suited my routine better. And now that habit works a lot better for me. So adjust them as you need. All right, let's get stuck into it. Habit 1. I start my day with lemon water and salt. First thing when I wake up, so within 5 minutes of waking, I make myself 600 ml of room temperature lemon water, and then I add salt. So I squeeze lemon, actually lime at the moment, as I have a friend who gives me limes from her tree, and her limes are the most tastiest I have ever had. So I add lemon or lime into the water, freshly squeezed, to cleanse my body, remove toxins, and it also helps with digestion. Salt, I'm probably a bit slack with this habit yet. I probably add it only half the times because when I'm half asleep, I forget. Salt helps replace electrolytes in the body and just ensures that it stays hydrated. Why water? Water is the ultimate performance enhancer. Your body is made up of 60% water, so staying hydrated is essential for energy, focus, digestion, and even fat loss. When you're dehydrated, it can lead to fatigue, poor performance, and food cravings, making it harder to stay on track with your health and fitness goals. So water is important. And I love starting the day with water because it sets me up for the rest of the day because I've already hit 25% of my daily intake. How much water should you drink? A general good rule of thumb is to aim for at least 2 to 3 litres per day. Talking to our naturopath, Darren, on episode 27, I believe it was, and he goes, the best way to check whether you're hydrated or dehydrated is to track your pee. So if your pee is light or pale yellow, that's ideal. You're hydrated. Anything brighter, drink water, you're dehydrated. Number 2, when I have breakfast, I always have protein in my breakfast. Generally, I have a protein smoothie with banana, avocado, strawberries, protein powder, and creatine. Other times I may have egg with a side of meat or fish. At the moment, I'm enjoying either chorizos or smoked salmon. Protein helps me feel full and reduces cravings. I also make sure my kids get protein for breakfast. I find when they don't have protein, especially when they're going to school or playing sport, their energy is lower and then they become grumpy by about 10 o'clock. Then they start craving sugar and junk carbs like muffins. And that happens to me too if I haven't had a sufficient amount of protein. For my kids, again, I give them some form of eggs in the morning, generally 2 each. Their favorite at the moment is banana pancakes, which is banana mashed up with eggs mixed through it. And sometimes I'll add oats and I'll just fry it up with ghee into little pancakes. I even give my kids protein powder, so half a scoop each, blended with milk, and in the winter, I warm it up so it's their hot chocolate. We are loving Bulk Nutrients protein powder, the chopped peanut flavour. One thing to call out with protein powder is to make sure that it's clean. So we use Bulk Nutrients, and I like it because it only has 3 ingredients, which is whey, natural flavouring, and some sweetener. So when you're getting protein, I recommend checking the ingredient list. And if there's more than 2 to 4 ingredients, it may not be the best for you depending what your goals are, because a lot of companies put fillers in their protein. I know someone that was having a protein and they were saying that they couldn't lose weight. When we looked at the protein, we found that it actually had carbohydrates in it, which they didn't need because they weren't bulking or trying to put on muscle, which was causing them to stagnate or put on that little bit of weight. So make sure the protein is clean. Nevin, so D8 training head trainer, and my husband, has protein every morning too. He has eggs, either with beef or chicken. What he eats for breakfast often looks like dinner for me. However, he looks amazing, so maybe one day I'll do it. Protein really is your secret weapon. It helps you feel full, it helps build muscles, and then it keeps your metabolism fired up. On a side note, I do eat protein at every meal, so think eggs, chicken, fish, or steak. And the great thing about protein is that you really can't overeat on it. Personally, I find after about 200 to 220 grams of chicken, I'm full and satisfied. However, put a tub of peanut butter cup ice cream in front of me, I can eat the whole tub and maybe even go for a second. And these sort of foods are made to be addictive by the companies so that you overeat and you keep buying more. It's almost like a drug. So number 2, start your day with protein. And if you're to pick one tip or start with one tip, this is probably the tip that I would recommend to start with. It is a game changer, and we've seen in the gym a lot of clients get exceptional results with this. Number 3, hit 10,000 steps daily. I try to make sure I hit 10,000 steps a day. The best investment I made was my smartwatch that allows me to track steps. I thought I was active and moving a lot, whereas I found in the first couple of months, sometimes I was hitting less than 5,000 steps just working in corporate and the office job. So I've got to make sure that my movement is conscious and make time for walking. I try to have walking meetings, or in between calls or meetings or tasks, I'll go for a walk around the block. So I consciously need to make sure I walk to hit my steps. Sometimes I still go days without hitting my steps. That's just life. And I do find that I am more irritable, especially towards the kids and Nevin. And then when I look back and try to figure out why, it's usually because I haven't hit my step count and it's been consistently under 7,500 K. On a side note, hitting 10,000 steps daily, you actually live longer, you reduce your risk of chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes, it improves your sleep, it supports weight management, and improves mental health, which I mentioned in my example about being irritable. Number 4, strength training 3 to 4 times a week. And by strength training, I mean I lift weights 3 to 4 times a week. And this is also my secret to helping me enjoy treats. When I was on my honeymoon in Hawaii, every night before we went for dinner, Nevin and I would do strength training so that we could go and indulge in all the wonderful sweets in America. When you strength train, say using moderate weights, weights that are challenging to lift, you can burn fat for up to 12 to 24 hours after that session. How good's that? So you're burning fat even after you've exercised. I've been strength training now for over 20 years and it's just become a part of who I am. I feel lost if I miss sessions and don't do them because it's a habit and I've been doing it so long, it's ingrained with me. Saying that, I probably have more days that I do not feel motivated to strength train than when I do. However, I've not yet to regret a workout that I've done. I love strength training. It shapes my body, it boosts metabolism, and it improves overall strength so that I can keep opening jars and playing with the kids. However, with the jars, I still actually ask Nevin to open the jars just so that he can feel strong and manly. Don't tell him. Plus, on a side note, muscle is our longevity organ. It improves bone density, reduces injury risks, and boosts confidence. I know personally, being able to lift weights, I feel confident and proud. Almost makes me feel like a warrior. Don't mess with me. If you don't go to the gym at the moment, I recommend starting with ideally at least 2 sessions a week, if not 1. And then work your way up and build up to more. Also, I recommend getting a personal trainer or doing a small fitness class like the ones we have here at D8 Training, because we watch your form. When you don't exercise properly, you can get injured. Speaking to a few different physios, they say something that they've seen is clients coming in for injuries that they've done in the gym because they haven't done the exercise properly. So I highly recommend a personal trainer to start with. Number 5, I don't skip meals. I eat breakfast, lunch and dinner every day, and as I mentioned, with protein. Skipping meals or eating like a bird, it actually slows down your metabolism and makes you hungry and angry. When you don't eat enough, your body craves quick energy, and that's when sugar and junk carbs become irresistible, especially because they're fast, easy and convenient. When you're hungry, it's easier to order pizza or eat a packet of chips than cook and prepare a healthy, nutritious meal. My dad is a classic. He won't eat dinner because he's trying to lose weight, and then he'll binge on fruit before he goes to bed, then wonders why he can't lose weight. So instead of starving yourself and setting yourself up for failure, focus on fueling your body properly with protein, veggies, and healthy fats. Number 6, I stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed. After dinner, usually around 6 p.m, I won't eat or drink anything unless it is water or magnesium. This has made a huge difference, not only maintaining my weight, however, it's helped me get a better night's sleep because my body can rest as opposed to trying to digest my food. Overall, I found that I feel better, and then by the time I have breakfast at 7 or 8 a.m, I have fasted for about 12 to 14 hours. I'm not super strict on this. I may be out for dinner or at an event and I will enjoy. I do love good food. However, have been known to go out for drinks and snacks, and I'll watch them eating and drinking while I drink my water. Hey, no judgment. I'm just there for the company. Number 7, prioritize sleep. I aim to be in bed at around 9:30, where I unwind with a good book and asleep by 10 p.m. And I'm up at 5:45 a.m. ready to start the day. This routine helps me feel refreshed and focused. When I'm well rested, I actually get more done. Number 8, I work to build mental toughness and resilience. So I do this in probably 3 key ways. The first one is from the gym. So while I'm working out, for example, when I show up to the gym when I couldn't be bothered, or I lifted heavier weights, or I pushed through mentally, hanging there for 1 minute though at the 40-second mark, I just wanted to let go. And I use all of these moments as a reference in life. When things get hard, I remind myself that I'm mentally tough because I've proven over and over again everything I was able to do in training. The second one is keeping my word to myself. So getting up at 5:45 a.m. even when I felt tired and I couldn't be bothered, or not eating sweets for 1 day and going through the whole day without doing it, even as I watch others do it. Detoxing, so challenging myself for a month, a week. So I find by keeping my word, it really helps me build that unshakable mindset. And then thirdly is trying new things and putting myself in uncomfortable situations. So recently I signed up for pro racing, knowing that I was going to lose the first few races. Not only that, when I went to pro racing, I was completely new and I did not know how to navigate myself, and I felt awkward, and I think people got frustrated with what I was doing, so I had to overcome that. So thirdly, how can you put yourself in new situations? And for me, building mental toughness is important because life's going to throw curveballs. Things are going to go unexpectedly, especially having kids. Number 9, I find ways to de-stress regularly. Stress jacks up your cortisol levels. It makes it harder to lose fat and, for me, perform general everyday activities. Personally, strength training is one of the best ways to de-stress because the weights don't talk back. After a tough day, hitting the gym and focusing on lifting weights helps me clear the mind and reset my mood. And if I throw those weights around, they won't say anything. Another great way I love to unwind is with a good book. I enjoy reading Ed and Blyden's Famous Five at the moment, and the kids are enjoying that I'm reading it too with them because we have a bit of a chat about it. Actually, a funny story. The other day, I go to my son. I wonder if they're going to get out of trouble. And he looks at me and he goes, Mum, they always do in every book. Made me laugh. Probably one of my favorite ways to de-stress is having the house to myself and cleaning. I've been judged about this before and told it's not a way to de-stress, and then I'd feel bad and I felt that I was wrong. But what I've realized is we're all different. It is whatever works for you, and just embrace it because there's no right or wrong. We're all unique. The key is to find what helps you reset and feel good. Number 10, massage monthly. I love a massage. It relaxes and loosens my whole body. It's fantastic. There you go. They're my 10 habits, but I'm actually going to give you a bonus one. And that is I practice gratitude daily. And this is something that helps me and my mindset. I find I can always find out what's missing in my life, what someone hasn't done. However, by practicing gratitude, it allows me to appreciate what I have. I appreciate the body I have that can move, my eyes that can see. I live in a home where there's heating and air conditioning. My heart, it beats daily and I don't have to do anything for it. I was actually born with this amazing beating heart. So I love gratitude. There you have it, my top 11 healthy habits to keep me physically fit and active, my body fueled, and keep me mentally strong. They are lemon and salt water to start the day, protein at breakfast and at every meal, 10,000 steps daily, strength training 3 to 4 times a week, 5, don't skip meals, 6, stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed, 7, prioritize sleep, 8, build mental toughness and resilience daily, 9, de-stress regularly, 10, monthly massage, and 11, practice gratitude daily. How can you incorporate some of these into your life? Small changes really add up over time to create lasting results. So which one are you going to start with? Thank you for listening. I am grateful that you invested your time here with me. And if you know someone that would benefit from this episode, please share it. If you could take the time, subscribe to the show and give a 5-star review, it would be appreciated. It will help me continue to provide value to you and others. Also, if there is a topic you want me to cover or an expert you want me to interview, please send me a DM on our Instagram account at D8Training. Details are in the show notes. Until next time, dominate your life.